Hey guys, this is Jacob Knight. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Press podcast. Both Lewis and I are currently in finals mode, and since he's about to graduate, he's far busier than I am. So today's episode is just me and a friend of the show, Rudy Pinetto, just shooting the ish about tabletop role playing games that we've done before. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Geek Press podcast. I'm Jacob Knight, and with me today is the world famous journalist and speech and debate and forensics award winner on a national level. Welcome, Rodolfo Juarez Pinedo.
Hey, Noah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. This is episode 14 of the Geek Press podcast. I know, it's only been a year and we're on episode 14. Aren't we good?
Where does the time go?
Where does the time go? So first of all, how are you doing? And is there anything of note that you've been watching or reading that is really just you're really into right now?
I am doing good. I just finished watching the Oscars. Are like kind of Oscars. I was moving around.
That's me being asleep during the Oscars.
They did the bump. There was a trivia night. They had trivia night going on. Lots of breakthroughs in diversity. It was a special night. But besides anything that I'm reading or watching, I watched some of the animations that were nominated for the Oscar this year. What's that one on Netflix about the little girl going to the moon? Oh, I saw that one.
Mm-hmm.
Fly Me to the Moon, I think that's called. I probably got it wrong.
That's a good song.
It's a good one, right, by Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Old Blue Eyes. Soul. I saw Soul again. There's a few. I saw My Octopus Teacher that won best documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend you watch that on Netflix. It's really
Never
good,
seen it.
Beautiful. It's about an octopus. Teaches you how to do math. I'm just kidding. No, it's just about a dude becoming friends with a wild animal, an octopus of all animals too, which is it's really something. It's also very beautiful and colorful. So
kind of like our friendship.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like I'm the wild animal, and you're the guy who became friends with him.
Just having that British accent, cinematography. Oh, and the Noah Garciacus Cartaticus is making a podcast, and he loves editing, and he's a nocturnal creature. I don't know.
It's okay. I respect the attempts. Is there anything good you've been reading or any games you've been playing?
Games I've been playing. Here we go. I know where we're going.
Okay, where we're going.
I've been playing D&D.
D&D.
I have, yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I'm your DM. Isn't that cool?
Dungeons and Dragons, Dragons and Dungeons. I've been playing it for about a year. It's gonna be a year this summer. But you know what? It's exactly what I needed. It's exactly what I needed to balance school, to balance, or not balance, to just let off some steam. Get away from school, work, family, social life, and all that.
You are a sociopath when you play, so.
Well, that's one of my maybe like I'm letting out like every little aspect of or facade of my personality, right? What was my first character? Oh, it's an evil dude.
Okay, wait. Before we get into that, we're gonna backtrack. Sure. Just to talk about my own experiences with tabletop, because D&D is just one of the tabletop games out there, because they're called tabletops. You can just play them on the table with dice, whatever. I got introduced through a roommate of mine. We played a couple games. My first ever character was this dragonborn paladin called Rogar. He died protecting the party from a hydra. He was pretty cool. He was my favorite thing. And so from there, I was hooked. And then I remember when I had always seen things of D&D, but I never really paid attention until I was introduced to it by some friends. But I remember early a couple years ago from this recorded date, we were talking about starting a campaign, and I think you told me to add a friend of ours, Kevin, and then it was you, me, and my cousin, and we didn't play D&D first. We did a superhero game called Mutants and Masterminds. Now, maybe you'd like to go into your character from Mutants and Masterminds. Introduce it to the
Yeah,
Butterfly Man.
yeah. So my character, and it took me a while you and I both first threw in the idea like, oh,
Uh huh.
let's play some D&D. Like I said a little before, like it was just exactly what we needed, especially during the pandemic. You couldn't even see your friends. We were in
Mm-hmm.
lockdowns.
We're all digital.
Uh, yeah, it worked out perfectly, and
Mm-hmm.
since this was my first time playing any type of tabletop game, I wanted to make it. I wanted to make a funny character because, like you just said a little before, like I've heard of Dungeons and Dragons. I've heard of
Yeah.
tabletop games. I've never played it though. Never just
Mm-hmm.
never the opportunity never came to me, so I never bothered pursuing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted this one to be cool. Just wanted to be wacky. I just wanted to mess around. That was
Yeah,
my first.
it was.
And so my character was Carter Pillar,
Uh huh.
and he was, I think, a vegetable vlogger on YouTube, and
Yeah.
he had grandparents in East LA. And anyway, so the the premise of the tabletop that we're Masters of Mutant Minds was that we were all superheroes. So my
Yeah.
superhero had the ability or had the powers of a caterpillar and a butterfly. So it could metamorph. It barfed out
I think you shot out like
silk.
webbing and silk,
Yeah,
like butterfly
silk
silk.
and all that. And whenever I think I had like, oh, I had a sidekick power. So
Mm-hmm.
also like I got inspired by Mothra because Mothra has all those
Yeah.
kind of
So you're like a
defense.
human Mothra.
Yeah, exactly. She had a lot of defensive
Mm-hmm.
defensive roles, and she had poison and all that. So I wanted to pretty much mimic Mothra, and then I think my character's a weirdo though because the only way to activate his powers was to become naked because it came off my skin and my clothing wasn't always in the way, so I had
I
to
I
take
gotta
off my pants.
say, listeners, I did not require this. Rudy said, "Oh, this is how my powers work," and I just said, "Okay." So I
But
did not
that's
require you to take off your clothes.
you asked, so I'm letting I'm
No, I
letting
did
you know.
not. Like you could have just been wearing like bike shorts or something.
No, I just
You
didn't.
just had to take everything off.
My character takes his powers seriously, so the only way to make sure they're fully effective, you got to drop the pants, you got to take up the shirt. You know, you gotta go into it. So anyway, I tried to be a good person, but
Yeah, you ended
there
up
was just
murdering someone.
there were just so many things stacked against me. I
Hmm.
think I did my first major mistake where I killed the villain by accident,
Yeah.
and then the girl I liked in the game was devastated by it,
Hmm.
and then and then the second time I rolled another great roll and trying to stop this person, I ended up killing them. So
You just became a murderer.
yeah, but so by the time I killed the second person, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna roll with this. That's it.
Yeah.
My character is a killer. I was devastated at first. I was
Hmm.
like, oh my god, like I killed someone in game. And even though it's just a game, like
Yeah.
I was hurting. I was depressed. Like, oh my god, I killed someone. Like what? That's not what I wanted to be a hero. But by the end, I started slaughtering people left and right, and became ended up becoming a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metamorph. That
You
was like
actually had like a really good character arc. I was
that was
like,
a nice arc. I loved where it was going, but alas,
yeah.
we
Where
didn't finish it.
I don't know. We kind of finished like if it was a show, it'd be like we
Okay, yeah,
finished season one and then it got
season one.
canceled.
We got yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe a reboot may come along. You know?
I mean, if everyone wanted to do like a reboot with the group we have now, I'd be down.
We've been talking about like a Valentine's Day special, right? But
Oh yeah.
well, we're 2 months late for that. So maybe next year. Who knows?
What's the next holiday coming up? Cinco.
Next one,
I was about to say Cinco de Mayo, but that's not a
Cinco de
real. That's not
Mayo.
a real holiday. That's just like a U.S. thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. But it's a holiday nonetheless. We could do that one.
Hmm.
National Sunday, National Ice Cream Day. I don't know. You know,
But there
there's
you go,
always
ice cream themed monster. There you go.
yeah, 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 something like that. No, National Hug Your Pet Day. I don't know. They
Oh.
always have. Uh, but
So yeah,
yeah. And then that was also one of your first times becoming a dungeon master too, right? So what was
yeah.
it for you?
I think it was certainly challenging, especially since I would say if you guys don't know mutants and masterminds, I would say the main difference I would say in that game between that and Dungeons and Dragons in that like Dungeons and Dragons you have something like video games where you have health points, you have numbers, you know, you have like 70% health. But in Mutants and Masterminds, you do thing called toughness saves or will saves. So it's not like you had health points. It's just that like you got beaten up and the more beaten up you got, the worse you would do on your ability checks. But you guys didn't really get hurt a lot. Everyone I think rolled pretty well, and because I was a new DM, I didn't want to like be like you have to roll with -5 to your roll. Like I didn't want to be mean, so it went pretty well. But I would say I'm glad I did that because with our current game, it's very chaotic, and
Very
the
chaotic.
session with you, Amanda, and Kevin, those helped me prepare for the later ones, like how to handle chaos. Because sometimes you guys will just derail the story, and I'll be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna railroad you guys. Like, oh, sorry, you're over there actually. So I had to like fix the story. So it kind of helped it grow organically. So I thought that was
That
really
was good,
interesting.
yeah. And it was a great experience for
Mm-hmm.
me too, because I mean, we played like D&D once or twice before
Yeah,
we
with some other
signed for the thing,
friends.
but I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I don't know what a Constitution was,
Yeah.
a D20, and even when we started playing with Masters of New Minds, I had no idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell is a will saving throw and all that?
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a long time to just to get the mechanics of D&D.
Mm-hmm.
The math is simple overall, but it's just trying to memorize. Oh,
Yeah,
I got to
you just have to
roll
remember.
20 plus 4. What's this again? So that took me a long time to get into, and
Mm-hmm.
it got even more challenging when we went to our second campaign,
Yeah,
which was officially Dungeons and Dragons.
let's jump into our second campaign.
Yeah.
It was our friend, our associate Kevin, my cousin Amanda, you and I
Associate?
associate.
What was it? Co-worker? What is
What if he
it?
if he,
Acquaintance?
in case he hates me in the future, I'm gonna just say associate. But
Associate.
yeah, so we my former roommate slash childhood friend Casey was dungeon mastering for us. What do you think of that game? How about you go into your character and we'll talk about that game?
I liked it. It was a good campaign. My character this time was this virgin teenage boy from the woods,
Uh-huh.
very very horny.
He was a druid,
He
right? Or what was he?
a druid, yeah. Oh yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot the most important. The druid. He was a druid. Loved planting stuff. Did all the healing. He was also like the healer of the group.
He had
Um,
big Johnny Appleseed vibes.
yeah, big Johnny Appleseed energy. That was the vibe that was going off of him. Yeah, and I loved it. I love that character, and there was a lot of growth going to that one. It took me a while to kind of get to figure out
Yeah.
what kind of character he is. I always struggle. I noticed that
Mm-hmm.
with myself. I always struggle with my characters, where I want to take them,
Mm-hmm.
or what I want them to become. So, but I'm very happy with Asparagus. That's the
Yeah.
name of my character.
Does all your characters have like? Do you try to give them the pun names or like the play on words?
I like that because like it's everyone has like those
Uh-huh.
medieval Rogarth or Des. Oh, that's actually the name of the university. I'm trying to think of uh
Daenerys.
yeah, Tanais,
Daenerys.
or just Lord of the Ring names.
Tyrion.
Yeah, Tadion the Great. I don't know.
Gandalf the White.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't
Uh-huh.
want that. I just wanted like a
Mm-hmm.
really stupid or really fun name that just stood out. So that's also, yeah, you're right. I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
notice that until now. You brought it up. I like rolling with it, and it works. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
It's kind of
he was a fun character.
Ash was
I,
a fun character,
I
and
I'll never forget. No matter what I do for the rest of my life, I'll never forget. We were in like our third session, and you, my cousin, and our friend Kevin, you guys, my character stayed up all night. I'll talk about my character in a minute. But
yeah,
so they were asleep in the cart, and you guys were like, "Oh look, there's bees. Let's go get some honey." And then they noticed, like, "Oh wait, those are hornets." And you guys were still like, "Oh, we're still gonna get that honey."
it's
Hornets don't make
yeah,
honey. So my Amanda died on that
yeah,
session only
yeah.
because I think our dungeon master was nice that they were like, "Oh, there's a scroll of resurrection. It's fine." But
That was really embarrassing.
yeah,
My middle school science teacher would be so upset at me
yeah,
to find out that I
she is.
forgot that hornets don't make honey.
Yeah, no,
But
that was.
anyway, but your character and my character
Mm-hmm.
clashed at one moment.
Yeah.
You had a very interesting character in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
It was many times save the group. So it was also the mom of the group, saved
Mm-hmm.
you so many times, but also kind of maybe it was leading to even separating from the group. Tell us
Yeah.
about your character.
My character was Rosen Helgar. They were born female, but they identified as gender neutral, so they really went by they and them. Which they were raised by their grandpa, who didn't care about their gender. They're just like, I want you to be a soldier. So like,
Yeah.
every once in a while we were doing stuff, I would throw in a random fun fact and be
Every
like,
once in a
oh,
while, it's like every interaction we had, it
I'd
was,
be
oh, my
like,
grandpa did this, oh, my grandpa made me do that. It was honestly, I didn't know how to react sometimes or ask my character.
I it was just fun to mess with everyone because I'd
Yeah,
just be like, oh yeah, my grandpa would make me drink poisons to toughen me up, and everyone would just like go
but it's so
silent,
awkward. I'm like,
like what the hell? And I
like,
that
what
was
do
just so fun for me.
it was a fun campaign.
Hmm.
It was also very hard because our dungeon master CJ.
Hmm.
Now CJ was very committed to
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons down to the T. You know, when it came to the settings, when it came to the
Hmm.
mechanics of the gameplay,
Very
which
realistic, not a lot
very
of
realistic,
like chaos.
and something I was not
Hmm.
used to because I always had you as the DM.
Hmm.
I only had Gabby at one point. Remember we did
Our
that
friend Gabby, shout out
our
Gabby.
friend Gabby. Yeah, Gabby. So it was a different change of pace.
Hmm.
I would even say a bit of a hard ass because there's so many times that I wanted to do stuff and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't because either I rolled bad or it just didn't go into the mechanics of the game. So I was like,
Hmm.
okay, you roll with the punches and but we were going places. There's so many
Yeah.
times where we got lucky. You know, we
Oh, a
advanced
million percent.
in the campaign. There made so many times where we just fooled around. We did what was
Hmm.
it, bread boats. We spent like 30 minutes arguing about sandwiches or trying to make it into
Yeah, and our
the world.
CJ was Casey was just like, no, there is no such thing as sandwich. This is medieval. And then Amanda would just be like, well, I'm inventing the bread
Yeah,
canoe, which is like a sandwich. And now, like,
exactly.
now sometimes with Amanda, bread canoe is just like a meme with us, and I'm just like, let's make bread canoes. So that's
We
fun.
had a we had a pretty cool thing going. Yeah, cat. Oh,
Mhm.
so yeah, Amanda was also a
She was a
druid.
druid, yeah.
Yeah, so we had another druid, and then we
Mhm.
had a Kenku,
Yeah,
and
Kevin was a Kenku rogue, which is a weird party because I was a fighter. We had
mm,
two druids and an
yeah,
assassin.
wasn't so good to be honest.
Yeah, like we didn't have a main healer. Like you guys had a few healing spells, but that wasn't like your focus. So we were kind of an unbalanced party, but
We made it work.
yeah, I mean, I know there are some games out there where people are like, if you want to be in our game, you have to play this because we need to have a certain person in each role. So I'm glad our DM was just like, oh yeah, go ahead. You guys are probably gonna die anyways. And yeah,
Probably,
as you
but hey,
mentioned
we
earlier,
made it.
we did clash because like how your character was kind of became evil. My own character they worshipped because of their grandfather. Should I tell you the backstory of their grandfather? Do you know the backstory of their grandpa?
Remind me again, and
Okay,
for the sake of the viewers,
so
the millions of viewers are gonna watch
I
this.
was oh yeah, millions of people, millions of Dungeons and Dragons fans are gonna listen to this. Uh, while I was raking, I thought of this. My character's grandpa used to be a orc, and he was in like a party, and like they beat up a big like monster, but and he was like dying, and then one of his party mates really cared about him. The only thing they had left was like a scroll of reincarnation, so not like revivification or healing or anything. So they reincarnated him, but he came back as a human, and he hated it because he's like, I was supposed to die in orc, like I was supposed to die at battle, and now I'm a human. So then he had like he begrudgingly had like a family, and like when he saw his grandkid for the first time, like the grandkid bit him on the hand, like and he's just like, oh, I like this grandkid. So he blackmails his son and the wife to like give me the grandkid, and I'll raise him to be a warrior. So that's why like he was just so hard because he was an orc. He was like a battle hatred orc. So that's like he was so hard on the character of Rose.
That's a sick backstory. I didn't know
Thank
that.
you. Yeah. So that's kind of the backstory I came up with. So like that character was they needed therapy so bad. Like oh my
So many
god.
times, yeah. I'm telling you, every interaction we had, oh, my grandpa just
Oh,
made me do
oh,
this and that.
my favorite
Uh,
joke though is that whenever somebody would do, they'd be like, "What would you like to buy from the shop?" My character would go, I'm betrothed, so please don't ask me
yes.
questions like that." Was my
Oh my
favorite one,
god.
and they were. In case my character died, I did have a backup character that was the betrothed, so
Oh,
I
okay.
was
I
ready.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I was
I
ready.
do not have. I've never had a backup character.
I didn't like write it out or like do the
Yeah.
sheet. I just had it in my mind.
So you had it in mind? Okay, no,
Oh,
I never had one. I like my characters, and I hope they don't die.
mm-hmm.
So it never occurred to me like, oh, I gotta make another one just in case. Because I don't know, I kind of felt like, oh, it's disposable. Which no, it takes me a while to come up with one, and I want to stick
Mm-hmm.
to it and all that. So so when I came with shoot, what was I gonna say? What were
Uh,
we talking about?
well, we were just finishing. So overall, with that,
Oh yeah,
we never finished that really. We kind of got like a to be
we
continued.
didn't
But
exactly.
overall, did you really enjoy that one?
I loved it. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
keep going. It was getting good.
It
We were
was. We're starting to dive into more plot stuff.
we got rid of our yeah we killed our
Mm-hmm.
first dragon. We went through our first dungeon, and then we were gonna go back. I think it's right.
Mm-hmm.
We were gonna go back to the dungeon
Yeah.
to
Oh, we went.
stop or yeah.
What
I
did we
got
do?
I almost got laid.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
oh, yeah.
that's where you got like a one and they took all your money.
Yeah, exactly. So I just got drunk and they took all my money and all
And
that.
you and
Yeah,
I had a fight because like I turned like I was traumatized for a second, so I accidentally like not killed
kill.
you, but like
Yeah, exactly. We clashed a lot
yeah.
on our characters. I was also a bit of a crybaby. So yeah, that was also my gag. I
Hmm.
complained a lot, and I just wanted to get laid. So
Yeah.
I tried.
you
I
were
found like sex and everything. Yeah, yeah.
you were Johnny Simple Seed.
See, that's a good one. That's a
Thank
good one. And then with
you.
your character, who is betrothed and very stern, didn't like that. So we clashed
Yeah,
over
we
moments a
did.
couple times, and you almost killed me.
It was an
You almost
accident.
let it fall.
It was an
Well,
accident.
well, yeah. So we got in a fight in game.
Hmm.
I got struck by a ball of lightning, almost died, and then that's what was starting to get good because then
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe maybe I was going to save you down the road because there was a bit of a connection where
Hmm.
your character had to awaken like, oh my god, like what's happening to me?
Yeah,
Like
like
oh
I'm
I just
becoming more
killed someone.
bloodthirsty.
And then I forgave you and gave you this flower as a sign of, or the sunflower. Like
Hmm.
this is you, a sunflower holds its head up high always. Be that sunflower. I said something like that.
Oh, and throughout the entire, as my character got like more corrupted by
Yes.
their god, our DM
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh no, no, add another point of G or whatever," and everyone would be like, "Wait, what is that?" And even I was
What
like,
is
"What
it?
is
Yeah.
that? What is happening?"
I had a feeling it was gonna make you evil, but then again, I had my doubts. I
Yeah.
just didn't know where our DM was taking this.
Mhm.
But it was cool. I liked where it was going because down the road, like we just mentioned before, who knows? I wish the campaign continued, but
Mhm.
again, there was another one that
Yeah.
bit the dust. But we are on our
We're
third
on our
one
third
now.
one. Let's talk
And
about that one.
that one is it's going slow. It's going very
Uh
slow
huh.
because there's been multiple times where we pause the campaign.
Hmm.
Um, daily lives going on. But looks like we have new members.
Hmm.
Hopefully, hopefully it starts going
Hmm.
somewhere. But even if it doesn't, I just love the fun that we're having in the campaign. So this one we're in university.
Hmm.
We're in
Oh yes.
university.
To explain to our audio listeners who don't know us for some reason, they should follow
Yeah, of
Rudy
course.
is all right and Jacob
Uh-huh.
underscore Knight on Twitter to
There
keep
you
up with
go.
us, obviously, as well as the Geek Press, I guess. But the point is that the current campaign that I'm running, that you're in with a couple people, it's sort of like it's D&D LA, where people have crystal for cell phones and the police carry around like magic shields.
Yeah.
There are like cars with like magic engines. So if you've seen the movie Bright on Netflix, it's like that, but like actually good. Um,
Yeah.
it's throwing some shade at Bright there, but yeah, everyone's at this university called Rogarth University.
Hmm.
There are fun majors like battle ballet and like elven archaeology and like accounting. You know what I mean? So why don't we talk for a minute? What's your character this time?
So my character this time is
Hmm.
Noodles Yo Yo Glock. That's the name of my character. It's a lizard folk
Uh,
hunter slash ranger
from a tribe called Quest.
from a tribe called Quest,
Hmm.
exactly from the grasslands of a land far away. How did I come up with this character? I think I was watching Alien versus Predator Requiem
Hmm.
or watching clips of it on YouTube.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. The Predator is badass. And I was like, you know what? I want to be the predator. That's what I want to
Okay.
be.
You want to be the predator, so you end up calling your character Noodles.
Well, I gotta keep on with that train of funky names. So I was like, all right, Noodles. It sounds innocent, but don't want to mess with me now. I'm a jacked 7 foot
Oh
walking
yeah,
lizard that could kill you.
it's true. And
So
you know what? Your character has gotten very hot recently. We've done a lot of role
I
playing about your lizard abs.
I didn't expect that to happen. I wanted to be feared, but now I'm just seen as this hot person. So I don't even personally, my character and even myself don't know how to handle it. I don't know
It's
where to
true.
take it
Because you're
because
playing
I'm
them like, I don't understand emotions. I'm here at this university to
exactly,
hunt.
and I'm always and again, I'm still struggling with my character because
Hmm.
I wanted to be like this badass motherfucking predator, that
Hmm.
kills everything, heartless, always up in trees. But I've kind of taken different because it's also also another part of my character is that I want to be an actor.
Hmm.
So there's also been times where I'm trying to act and kind of play,
Hmm.
just trying to fake my way through interactions. That's you. That's Noodle's character.
Hmm.
So and then also the past couple campaigns have kind of been the dad because we have two new members of
Oh,
our
we do
team
have two new members of our team.
who are hella chaotic,
Oh my
which I
god.
love so much.
One of them
Uh,
being the creator of the Geek Press, Luis Gutierrez. Shout
yes,
out to Luis,
shout out
who's
Lewis.
a agent of chaos and was sent to ruin my life. Sent to ruin my life. So,
But you know what?
mhm,
It brings us like one of the big things I like about D&D and doing this every week is I get a good laugh out of it.
mhm,
I always go to bed like relax. I had a great day. Oh, even when I'm working on that, or leading up to the week, leading up to that Wednesday night, I'm always looking forward to it. Like,
yeah,
oh man, what are we gonna do next? What are we gonna talk about now? It's just I
mhm,
always have a great time. It's a kickback. It's fun. I laugh a lot, and and that's what I love, especially about this campaign. Not only is it chaotic, sometimes I don't
yeah.
even know what we're gonna do with it, but we have a good time, and that's exactly what
There,
matters.
there's lots of little moments that I carry with me through the week that I'll be like, I'll be washing the
Yes,
dishes and I'll be like,
yes,
I remember when Amanda started making out with some MILF at a club. You know what I mean?
yes. We were. That's exactly what I do too. I'm just daydreaming.
And
I'm
we're
like, oh my
last
god,
session, you guys were supposed to
yeah.
talk to the club owner, and then Lewis was like, "Are there any milfs in the building? Are there any dancing?" And then everyone, instead of going up to talk to the club owner, was like, "I'm gonna
I
watch and
know.
see how this plays out." And then eventually, you and our friend Marcus went up, but everyone else stayed
Wow.
down to see
I
if he
wanted,
could score.
yeah, I want to say that so badly, but like, if I wasn't gonna carry on the campaign, I don't know who. When Lewis, Marcus aren't gonna do it. It's either down to me or Amanda. Because also Kevin,
Hmm.
Kevin's a bit of a wild card too. So I
Hmm.
figured, okay, now I'm just gonna go up, and then if someone follows me, someone follows me. Who knows? I remember the first time you talked about you threw this idea with us. We were like at a gas station. You're like, "Hey, Rudy, I got an idea about a campaign. What do you think about this?" And then you're just throwing ideas. We're in a
Hmm.
university, and I think you even had a flyer ready. So that just
Yeah,
goes to show like how I don't know where you get the time first of all,
I
but
made a PDF of a university flyer.
exactly, it looks down to the table what a flyer
Hmm.
would have. A universal flyer. As the people of color smiling
Hmm.
on the front, on the back, all the majors. So that also goes to show like how great of a DM you are, and
Thank you.
without having you, without having you navigating the chaos or
Uh huh.
navigating the story, it wouldn't be good. I honestly think you also play a very important role in not only coming up with the whole premise,
Hmm.
but also keeping us keeping us going.
Yeah.
Whenever we interact with NPCs, is that the term, right?
Yeah. Non-player characters.
Non-playing character, even though they have the same damn bloody English accent,
Okay. 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 This feels like a weird meme that I was okay. Only one character in this campaign has had an English accent.
I don't know. I thought it was
You
gonna
are
be more.
just so into it because in the last campaign, my character had an English accent
Maybe, who knows?
because
But
they
it's
spoke like this all the time. Like
all
my
the time.
grandpa used to hit me
Oh,
whenever I
there it is.
smiled. Stuff like that.
There it is. There
But
it is.
there's only
So, but
one English person in this current campaign.
Okay, maybe one.
Hmm.
I'm could have sworn there's maybe two or three more, but you're just so extemporaneous.
Hmm.
You're always on your toes because
Yeah, I
it's
have to
chaotic.
be.
It's very chaotic now.
And you know, as you
Everything's
said in the
chaotic.
club, where everyone like you, I do appreciate when you and Amanda are like, okay, guys, let's go fight now. But you know, there are things as a dungeon master where I have to say, okay, I'm gonna let them have a little bit of fun, but then I need to get them back on track. Like if you hadn't gone up, I would have let you guys go on for a couple minutes, but then eventually I would have done something like, "Oh, here comes the bodyguard saying I've heard you have an appointment," and then they'll take you up. You know, like
Mm,
so there are times when I give you free area, but you know, like you trigger something like a video game, and then you go into a cutscene. You know what I mean?
yeah, I get you.
So there are times when I'm just gonna be like, oh, okay, well, do what you need to do, and times where I just like, okay, you need to do this. Like
Do
I
this
think,
exactly. And I like those times because even then, like you come up
mm-hmm,
with an NPC. To me, it's like you come up with an NPC like on the fly,
mm-hmm.
and you already have the voice, the English the English voice. You have the backstory of that character, what they're looking for, what are they doing, how they're dressed. Like what
Mm-hmm.
the like wow, it's amazing.
I think also a way to guide it is that you guys will be doing something, and I'll be like, okay, well, it's been 30 minutes and now it's 3 o'clock. You know, I remind you guys what time it is because you guys went
Yeah,
did a thing straight in the morning at a police station. Like after you guys talk to something, in order to
yes.
keep it together, I say, okay, well, it's 7. People are starting to show up. Like trying to give those cues of like things need to happen. So, but thank you.
I have a question for you now.
Yeah, ask
So
me anything.
how do you prepare for a round? Because I've
Uh
seen
huh.
sometimes you have like drawings ready.
Yeah.
Do you ever get nervous before like, oh shit, like what if this goes plan or anything like that? How do you get in the zone?
I think well, just for characters, because you mentioned I can just whip with characters. I don't sit down and like plan things out to a T at first. Like I'll be going through a drive through, and then I'll just suddenly go to the window. And I'll be like, oh, you know, can I get chalupa? And then I'll just talk like that, and then I'll just kind of think of the character like, what would this accent do? Okay, I'm a
Wait,
goblin.
you talk
Yeah,
in real life
yeah,
with that.
at like a
That's
drive through.
that's so. I feel so sorry for the
Well,
cashier.
I don't care. They don't care. It was like at 12. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
yeah.
So I'll be like, okay, well, let me give this accent. It's a goblin. What's his name? Delaney. Okay, Delaney. What does Delaney do? And then I try to have like a repertoire of characters that I can fit into certain situations. Like if I have a character that's like a bartender, but you guys don't end up going to the bar, you guys go to the park, I can pick up that character and take him to the park and just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm on my day off." You know, and a lots of times when I am eating like eating food or when I have free time once I'm like out of work and out of school, I kind of just like brainstorm characters. And with this campaign, it very much is an open world. It's like an open world RPG. But I try to give you guys what we call in kind of the area plot hooks, which are sort of details that you guys can grab onto and ropes you can pull to find out more things. So that's why they're plot hooks. So I try to lay that out for you guys. And sometimes it's very obvious, like when you get attacked by shadow monsters. And sometimes it's more subtle, like when you guys were at the university and Lewis was looking at the board and I listed off a bunch of things. And those were all options for you guys to go on quests.
Hmm.
And you guys didn't take any of them. But the thing is that if I planned for a situation like, oh, I planned for a bleacher fight underneath the bleachers at a football game you guys could go to. If you guys don't want to do that and you want to go to the library, well, I can just pick that up and take it over to the library and flavor them differently. And it'll take me like 5 minutes to just rearrange stuff.
Oh, cool.
But having a lot of prep is just really essential to being a DM because it is chaos.
It's pure chaos. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
still don't know how you do it because I'm always amazed like how you just come up with things on the fly.
I,
Boom.
I have taken, you know, this is going to sound pretentious. I have acted, I have taken some improv classes. So it's easier for me to just think of a character or think of a situation. But that's just because I've had a bit of training in it. So it's not
Hmm.
too bad for me, you know.
So far it's very chaotic.
Yes, ask me more
Of
questions.
course,
You got any more questions? You got any
so far.
more?
But now, where would
Hmm.
you want it to go?
Where would I want it to go? It's
Something
funny.
you thought about? Yeah,
Hmm.
the campaign in the future, maybe new characters.
I think that's. I feel like you're trying to dig me for
Hey,
information on the
come on, man.
campaign.
Slow
I
down.
think uh, we have a combat situation coming up, and I want us to get through that just to get our two new players into like some heavy combat, and then after that, I would, as I doubt we're gonna get it because you guys are so chaotic, but I would love if I could start laying some story breadcrumbs for you guys to start picking up and figuring out the story because in a Google Doc I have so much lore written down and I'll just make shit up. I'll be like, oh yeah, and this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened because it's my own world, and as long as it all makes sense, it's fine. So I would love to start leaving breadcrumbs, and you guys can start figuring out the story because you guys were attacked by like interdimensional monsters the first session, which was like a year ago, and we're on session 12 now, and you're barely like, we need to find out where they're from. Like, you're finally pushing the
We're
plot
still trying to
forward.
figure out where they're from. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love for you guys to just get a little bit more focused, but I think we're starting to get into sort of this rhythm of controlled chaos where, yes, it's silly, but also like we're nudging on the plot. Like we're edging the plot. We're not having full blown sex. We're edging the plot, and eventually we're gonna
Yeah.
get all heated and we're gonna get into it. So I think it really is up to you guys because I don't want to railroad, which in like this term is just completely controlling the characters' um, mobility within the story. So I don't want to railroad you guys, but I also want to make sure you don't lose sight of the plot. So I think we can achieve a good balance.
Well, I'm sure we'll get it done.
Mm-hmm.
We have Amanda there. We
Mm-hmm.
have. I'm gonna try to. Who knows? Well, I can't say anything. Who knows what's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen? But yeah, I would like. Yeah, same thing. I would like our campaign to progress a little more with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Still keep things fun. Still keep things light. Still keep things silly like we
Is there
always do.
anything unexpected that's kind of happened in this campaign that you never like? When did this come from?
Yeah, Lewis and Marcus. Those are the most
Yeah, yeah.
unexpected.
Our two new players, they
Yeah,
gel together really well.
they do. Like at one
Mm-hmm.
point we had Lewis for one campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I think just one, right? Or oh no, we had him for no, just one, two campaigns. And I was like, okay, just one chaotic person. I could handle that.
Oh,
That's
like
not a problem.
sessions, you mean?
Two sessions, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
yeah,
two
sorry.
sessions.
Campaign is like the whole
And
story. Session is just like one entry.
yeah, there we go. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
no,
And
it's
then
okay. It's fine.
back to back, and then
Mm-hmm.
Marcus jumped in about 2 weeks later, and then boom, another wild card
Mm-hmm.
character. I was like, what are the odds, So those are the two. Marcus and Lewis
Mm-hmm.
having in the group are the most unexpected, but I love it. We're laughing a lot more. We're just doing a bunch of
I
nonsense.
mean, Lewis did completely derail the story because just to give you guys background information, they went to a park for a rap battle, and the people were drinking and it got crazy, and police showed up. So
Yeah.
one of the NPCs got captured, one that I didn't think you guys
Oh,
cared about at all. And then after that, you guys went to like a seer witchy woman in the back of a bar, and she was just like, "Oh, your friend's in a drunk tank." And then I forget who it was, but I think somebody was just like, "We gotta break him out of jail."
that was Kevin.
Was that Kevin?
Kevin.
You're just like, "We gotta
Yeah.
break him out of jail," and then I'll see. That's when in my mind I go, "Oh God, what do I do?" Okay, and then as a witchy woman, I was like, "Oh
I
well."
remember.
Then I
Yeah, I
play a
remember
story like his scumbag of an uncle comes in, and I role play like, "Oh, you're getting out tomorrow," and he's just like, "Fuck you, uncle," just do that. But then you
you
guys are still
tried
like,
so
we,
hard, yeah, to not make us go that route.
yeah. And I appreciate you're the only one that I think you were the only one that was like, "Oh, he'll be fine,"
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
I said everyone,
It was
he'll
for
be out in the
selfish reasons.
morning. He'll be out in the
It was for
morning.
selfish reasons though, because I wanted
Mhm.
us to go to the hospital so I could get my trophy that I, for
The
context, I
dead
won with that
body.
battle,
Uh-huh.
and my character likes to, hunt for sport, and
Mm-hmm.
if I kill something, I want to keep its body as a trophy. And I wanted to go to the hospital to go pick it up, but no, everyone wanted to go to jail, like go to the police station, pick
Mm-hmm.
out
And see, that's also
abilities.
part of knowing your character. I should have known that your character would have wanted that trophy because I wanted to be like, oh yeah, haha, you kill him and his friend takes the body away. And I should have known your character would be like, no, I want that trophy. Give it to me. I should have, like, give it to
It
me.
was
Like,
so
I should
fun.
have known that.
I like
So,
it though. It was so fun.
yeah. And
So who knows? what our next session is this Wednesday. So
And Marcus is so horny too.
ah,
He's gotten a guy and a girl's number, and
man,
he's trying to get drugged up. And
Marcus character is smooth. Oh,
is
Duncan.
he though, Duncan?
Dun-
Yeah,
Duncan is yeah, Duncan's smooth. I want to say so,
is
especially
he
when I listen to
though?
him.
Are they though? They're
I
kind
think
of clowns.
they're clowns, but you got to give them some props.
All right, I'll give him some props. And yeah, you're right. This upcoming Wednesday is we do it every Wednesday. We haven't skipped a session yet. I'm very proud of us. Nobody's
I know.
canceled in a while, so I'm really excited for that. Um, I think we talked a good deal about our campaign. Have you just to kind of round this out? Have you seen any other type of tabletop games that you maybe want to try, or
No,
another
I still don't.
campaign you'd want to jump
I
in after this one is
still
done?
know very little about the
Mm-hmm.
tabletop genre. Even before, like again, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
very immersed in tabletop experience. You barely like what was it back in December? You got me into Dungeons and Daddies, that podcast,
Oh, that's such a
and
funny
that was actually a real.
podcast.
It was a funny podcast. I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
only listened to maybe 2 or 3 episodes because it was so freaking long. But
Yeah.
I listened to how they handled their sessions, and I got ideas from them. Like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could help out your friend with the
Yeah, with the help
by roll
action.
by giving him an advantage. Yeah, give him a
Mm-hmm.
help. I didn't know that. So that gave me another perspective about how you could interact with the world. So
Mm-hmm.
listening to those 2 episodes really did give me some insight, like how I could navigate our world,
Mm-hmm.
how I could play D&D even better.
Mm-hmm.
Because even then, I still don't know a lot about it. I know how to roll D20 and all that, but there's just so many things you could do, and I'm still realizing that.
I learned a lot from watching YouTube videos because I'll watch like funny, like this is how you I just watch a lot of D&D YouTube videos, and I'll be like doing a chore or something and I'll be listening. So
Yeah,
that's how I stable. But
I mean, we
I
should
mean,
we gotta start doing that. Yeah.
yeah, I'll make you a playlist. But yeah, there's lots of other tabletops. There's like a Cthulhu one, which is like a mystery. There's vampires. There's Star Wars. There's like cyberpunky. There's a lot of systems out there.
I like. I've noticed something though, like because this is technically our second time doing like an urban setting,
Mm-hmm.
streets, just like being in a large city. Second time actually doing like an LA-esque type
Mm-hmm.
of area. We have like downtown and all that.
Yeah.
I like that actually. Now that I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about it, I'm not too much of a medieval Dungeon Dragon type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I really love being in a city, being
Mm-hmm.
LA. I'm biased because I
Uh-huh.
also work in the LA industry, so that's why I like it so much. So come to think of it, yeah, if we were to do any other kind, maybe like cyberpunk
Mm-hmm.
in cyberpunk with Los Angeles in the future or something like that. Who knows? But I anything or any urban settings, city settings, uh, apocalyptic maybe or futuristic. I'll be down for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be definitely be down for that.
I think if there's something I'd love to run you guys through eventually, for all our audio listeners out there, there is at the club that was aforementioned earlier. The club itself is called Club Strahd, which, if you're a D&D person, there is a module which is a pre-written campaign called Curse of Strahd, and I would love to run you guys through that one. It's
What's
very
that?
sad. It's a vampire thing where you guys are in like a country called Barovia and you have to save it, and it's trippy. It's a trippy thing.
Damn,
So I think I would
I'll
like
give
to
it a try.
run you guys through it. But
We
that's
play as vampires.
you fight as vampires, but you could turn into a vampire in that game if you
Oh,
want.
I'll be down for that. We could do like a Halloween session. Who knows, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I know
Sounds
Amanda wanted to run Call of Cthulhu, which is like a cosmic horror mystery. And I believe in that game you do sanity rolls where if you fail
oh,
you
freaking
go crazy. So and
that's insane.
yeah, so the future for our group I think is bright. I'm pretty happy with where we are right now.
I like
And
it.
yeah,
Maybe we'll get more people. Who knows? How
I
many
don't
people
know.
do you think you can handle?
I think I could handle one more person because
One more
that would make
person?
us at
Okay.
6, and our combat is going to be crazy because our next combat is about 4 of you, and then 3 enemies. So everyone has to roll. See, this is where we're going to kind of go through the grinder with the 2 new players.
Mm,
Effects, HP, like what are your bonus? What can you do as a bonus action? Can you hide?
mm.
I need to send Marcus videos about stealthing as a rogue. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how that whole combat session works out. But
I'm excited.
yeah,
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be clubbing.
yeah. Oh yeah, this all takes place in a club.
Dun, 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 dun.
So as we round out this podcast, I want to say thank you so much for being on here.
Thanks for inviting
It's
me.
a pleasure to have you on here. I didn't mention at the beginning. I don't think I did, but in case I didn't, Lewis is very busy with his senior projects and with his job, so he wasn't going to be here. But for this podcast, but he'll be back as soon as you can. Why don't
Man,
you, Rudy? Is there anything you'd like to plug?
plug.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Is there
no.
any anything you want us to? What are your socials, or if you want to plug any cause or anything
Oh,
like that?
yeah. You know what? If you want to follow me on Twitter
Mm-hmm.
at Rudy's All Right, Instagram at
It's
Rudy's
across
All
the
Right,
board, right? It's just Rudy's all
across
right.
the board.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you know what? It's good. It's 9. It's almost 9:30. My brain's trying to shut down. I'm drawing blank. I have work in the morning. I got nothing. I'm good.
Well, you
Maybe.
can follow me on the
Oh
panels
yeah,
and page.
follow Noah.
You can follow me on photography, Noah Garcia _ photography on Instagram,
Yeah,
Jacob Knight
yeah.
_ JK. And if you want to hear more from the Geek Press, you can follow us at The Geek Press on YouTube and TikTok, and The Geek Press, DA, on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure to keep up with all our socials. And if you want to comment under this or tweet at either of us more questions, or why in the hell would you make all your characters pun names, whatever, you can
I'm
just
here.
come to us. We're both
I'm here to
public.
answer the difficult questions.
Here to
Yep.
answer the difficult questions. Why were you so horny? That's my first question.
Oh, brother, where to begin? That's gonna be another podcast
That's
episode.
another podcast. See you guys later.
All right, bye bye.
Goodbye. The following podcast was recorded in Whittier, California, 2021 in May. The music was done by Alex Hooper on Instagram, and you can find more of the Geek Press's content on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.